Joining me now from Salt Lake City, Utah, Republican Congresswoman Mia Love. Congresswoman, I want to start with a comment this week by one of your colleagues in the House, Congresswoman Barbara Comstock. Here she is.
The young staffer is a young woman, went there and was greeted with a member in a towel. It was a male, who then invited her in. At that point, he decided to expose himself. She left, and then she quit her job.
Congresswoman, how serious a problem is there with sexual harassment in Congress? And if you can tell us, have you or any of your staffers been a victim?
Well, I can tell you this has been going on for a very long time, and I'm glad that people are speaking out about it. It's important to speak out about it nationally and also locally and in our homes. I have two girls that I'm raising, one going off to college, and it's important that we're comfortable having uncomfortable conversations so that we can protect our young women and protect women in the workspace.
Let's talk about your workspace, because it turns out that Congress has protected itself with a much more challenging, much more cumbersome process than we see in the private sector. I want to put this up. I think people will be surprised. A victim who claims sexual harassment in Congress must wait 3 months to file a complaint. First, submit to 30 days of counseling and another 30 days of mediation, then wait another 30 days to seek a hearing. And, Congresswoman, it gets even worse than that, because if there is a settlement, it's paid for by taxpayers, not by the individual member of Congress. Is this another case of the old boys clubbing network on Capitol Hill protecting itself?
Well, as the only woman in the Utah delegation, I have a little bit of a problem with that. Our office has made sure that they have taken all of the anti-sexual harassment training, and I led out on that, taking it myself. I think we need some leadership. We need people that are out there that are talking about this and talking about how situations like this, behavior like this, is absolutely inappropriate. But I'd also like to say one more thing. I think it's important that we, especially the things that are going on out there, that this is not being politicized, it's not being used for personal gain, because we normalize the situation if and when that happens. We have to make sure that we're not going out there doing anything that is going to further victimize people who have actually been hurt and who've been humiliated by sexual harassment and sexual misconduct.
Well, let me ask you about two specific cases. Do you believe that Judge Roy Moore, the candidate in the special Senate election in Alabama, should step aside from that race to let a write-in candidate try to hold the seat for Republicans? And what do you think should happen to Senator Al Franken after the allegations against him this week?
I'm calling them all on the carpet. I think that all of them should take responsibility for their behavior. This is, when you think about Al Franken, you think about Judge Moore, you think about all of these situations that are out there, they're all different, and they all deserve due process, and the people need to be able to have time to talk about it and process it. We certainly aren't going to be able to do that today in 7 minutes on a Sunday show, but I think it's important that we end up talking about it, getting comfortable, having uncomfortable conversations, and saying that this type of behavior is unacceptable.
Well, let me ask you about one other person and whether or not he should be held accountable, and that is President Trump, who has had very little to say about the Judge Roy Moore case, but when it comes to Al Franken and that picture, he weighed in on that, the picture of Franken appearing to grope his accuser. The president sent out this tweet: "The Al Frankenstein picture is really bad, speaks 1,000 words. Where do his hands go in pictures 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 while she sleeps?" On the other hand, when reporters noted that President Trump faces his own allegations from a bunch of women about him allegedly groping them, here's what a spokeswoman said.
I think in one case specifically, Senator Franken has admitted wrongdoing and the president hasn't. I think that's a very clear distinction.
Congresswoman, does that satisfy you, the fact that President Trump has denied the allegations?
Well, again, all of these situations are completely different. I think people need to take responsibility for their actions, not just in the future, but also in the past. And we can't, it's absolutely, I'm not qualified, nor is it appropriate for us to process, prosecute, judge, and sentence in the 7 minutes that we have here. But I think it is important that we all speak out and we prevent these things from happening. This is about looking towards the future and making sure that women are empowered and no longer victimized, that people, if they are experiencing situations in the office that makes them uncomfortable, that they feel empowered, that they can actually speak out and stop the behavior.
Congresswoman Love, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.